Hi there. In this video we're going to take a look at taking your collection of DVD discs and copying them onto the computer to reduce them to smaller file size so that you can transport them easily as you travel. It's a simple two-step process. There's a couple of bits of software we'll look at using. One here is VLC Media Player, which I use to play files on the computer. It's a free download, just search for VLC Player and you'll find that. The other is called Handbrake, and that's the one that we use to actually reduce the file size to a much more manageable size. So we start off by copying the DVDs onto the computer. DVD goes into the DVD player, close the drawer, and that should fire up. While that's starting, it's going to default to play here with VLC Media Player. So here's the movie ready to play. We don't actually want to play it at the moment, so we'll close that down. What we're going to do is simply create a new folder. This movie is Rules of Engagement. And now with the empty folder we'll browse to the actual disk on the computer. Here it is, and you'll find on the disk there are two folders. One is audio, one is video. There's nothing in the audio. In DVDs all of the files are in video, so this folder is what we want. And as you can see, it's a big folder. It's 7.67 gigabytes. Simply drag that across here to copy into the new folder that we created. And we can close that one down. That one's going to take a while to copy, so we can just leave that doing that. In the meantime, we have several other folders of movies we've already copied from discs onto the desktop here. We have the Fourth Protocol and Don't Say a Word. We also have the Jigsaw Man, which we've already created a much reduced file from, which I'll show you shortly. So we're going to start with the Fourth Protocol, and when we look in here you'll see inside this we have the Video TS folder, and if we check the properties of that you'll see that it's quite a big folder. It's 3.83 gigabytes. We're going to reduce that movie down to a much smaller size. So to do that we're going to need Handbrake. Now you can get Handbrake online at handbrake.fr. It's a very simple piece of software, and it does one thing and does it very well, is take big video files and reduce them down to much smaller size. So simply download from here and install it onto your computer and you're ready to go. We've got Handbrake open here, ready to use. So the first thing to do is tell Handbrake where we're beginning in this Fourth Protocol. So we want to tell it the source of the video file we're going to be reducing, and the source is a folder on our desktop. So on the desktop here, the Fourth Protocol, and tell it we want it to look at this Video TS file and select the folder. What it will do now, you can see it's scanning the folder and it's found a couple of movies or video files within there. There's number one is 1 minute 51 seconds. That's obviously the menu, and then the movie itself 1 hour 54 minutes 24 seconds. That's the file we want. Now we need to tell it where we want the file to go, so we can simply browse again, and all I'm going to do is put it in the same folder. I'm going to put it inside the Fourth Protocol folder, and I'm going to call it Fourth Protocol. So this is where we're saving it. You can see where it's going to put this Fourth Protocol folder, and it's going to call it the Fourth Protocol .mp4. This is the file type here, which you can choose mp4 or mkv. We don't change any of the settings here. Everything we leave exactly as it sets up. Leave the picture alone, the filters, the audio. You can add subtitles if it's a foreign film, chapters, I leave it to create chapter markers, so you can whiz through the video if you've seen it before, or if it's music files or something. The only setting we're going to change is on the video tab here. And all we're going to do is change the quality setting. It's currently set to 23, which means you get quite a high quality video, but quite a large file size. Quite a reasonable file size. So 23 is the perfect setting. Usually I think when you open the software up at first, it might be set at 20, which is a bigger file, higher quality, but you can reduce the file size down. I find this setting of 23 is the best quality, the best file size and quality sort of compromise between the two. The quality is still good, the file size is small enough to be very manageable. And that's it. It's really just that one setting. Set your quality to 23 and you're ready to go. Press the start button, and as you can see at the bottom here, Handbrake is preparing to encode, and away it goes. So it says at the moment it's going to take 40 minutes. This should drop down as it gets started. But the great thing about Handbrake is we can set up more files at the same time. So we can now tell it, let's look for another folder. In this case, we're going to go to Don't Say a Word. That has a Video TS folder, and we can start that one too. It looks at the titles. There's quite a few in this one, so there's perhaps behind the scenes footage or extras or outtakes or things like that. Quite a lot here, maybe several different menus. So just let it scan through and see what it comes up with. And then if you just want the movie, you just want the biggest file of all the files that are available. As you can see in the background, our other one is still copying here. That's going to take a while. That's a big movie, so that's going to take a while. We can leave that one doing. And now we can look here. There's all sorts of little short bits and pieces. These are all bits of menu. 6 or 7 minutes might be outtakes or extras or something else. We're not interested in those. We want the main movie, number 1 here, 1 hour 48 minutes. Settings are all the same. You don't need to change anything down here. All you need to do is change where you want the new file to be created. This one's going in Don't Say a Word. Let's call it that. It's changed here to M4V. You can change that back to mp4 just for consistency. It doesn't really matter. They're almost almost the same type of file. And when we're ready to go with that one, settings are all the same. Simply add that to the queue of jobs to be done. You can look at the queue up here and you'll see we now have 2 jobs, the 4th protocol and then followed by Don't Say a Word. If you have more movies already copied onto your computer, you can just set up a big long string of jobs, 20, 30, 40 movies, and leave it working overnight, and all your movies will be ready when you're finished. In fine cooking tradition, here's one we did earlier, the Jigsaw Man, and we can look in the folder. Here's the Video TS folder here. Properties of that are, size of it is 4 gigabytes, and we've done exactly the same thing, and we've ended up with just the movie file. As you can see there, properties 645 megabytes, so we could have 6, almost 7 of these files for the same file space on our disk as the one Video TS folder. And this will play just fine in the VLC player, or you can copy this over to a hard drive or a micro SD card to carry with you as one of your movies to watch while you're traveling. So it's just a matter of getting organized, copying all your disks to your computer, and then setting them up as a big long list of jobs for Handbrake to do and letting it get on with doing those jobs. And that's it. Very simple. You end up with a big folder full of very small files that you can take with you as you travel.